Welcome, we have Queen Walk Dragon attacks at the Town Hall 11 level. This is a process. Stick around to the very end. Now, the very first attack was me. Now, this was my plan, and Krusty Kingdom, who's on the, and Spartans as well. We came up with this idea together, and I tried to execute it the first time. Unfortunately, it did not go so well. So the goal was to go from 12 o'clock all the way to 9, break in, and then Dragon right up the core. Builder Hut's going to be there, but look what happened. Early on, this rage spell, even though I was like so close, look at that, put the rage down, and look, apparently the healers are not inside the rage, even though their shadow touches inside the rage. Whatever, it happens, unfortunate. So I had to pop the ability, and because of that, it really messed me up. Having to pop that ability early on, I was a little bit nervous, because I was still wondering, what am I going to do? How can I get through this base? I'm going to speed this one up just a little bit, because we don't need to see all this. But the reason I put this rage there again is because I thought the queen was going to step in and take down the enemy queen. That was, I thought the queen would step out. You see how she hugs the corner? Look at that. But it didn't end up being so. So what happens is I didn't have a rage. I was deciding to either put a rage there on the queen or save it for the bowlers. I hesitated a bit too long, and thus the fail. Bowlers did not get in there. There was a black bomb that killed my baby dragon at 8. So there was no funneling there. So again, this war, unfortunately, guys, I went 0 for 2. Not good at all, man, bad. But at least my plan was used. That's all. That's the consolation I can. That's all. Actually, that's the only consolation I have. Anyways, there's a couple other attacks on this base, but this is the next one. This is how I intended it to happen. I intended it to happen like this. How Grizz hit it. He just got unfortunate. He forgot to put the bowler bounce at 6 o'clock to get the 4 extra buildings, or even at 3 o'clock to get 1 or 2 of the buildings there. So he had the plan. Of course, he knew where all the traps were. He knew how the queen would path. He knew when to put the first rage spell. And look, there you go. He triggered this bomb. There was a black bomb right at 8 o'clock there. He triggered it, and looking very nice here. Unfortunately, he did miss the loom placement, did not trigger that one black bomb, but that didn't cost him in the end. He did have the funnel with the baby because there was the black bomb didn't kill the baby. So the queen does stay alive with her ability, and the funnel is there. He's going to wall break in, and he's going to get the job done. Now, the only problem here, he would have had the town hall down, but he forgot the bowler bounce. He needed 2 bowlers at 6 o'clock to get those 4 buildings down. Or actually, 1 bowler would have done it as well. So unfortunate for him that he forgot it. But this was my original plan. You know, queen comes in here. Don't have to worry about the CC. And this is, you know, a lot of times you have to run the same plan. Now, we actually debated, should we keep running this? Because we actually had another person hit it. I didn't show it, but he made a slight mistake as well. He put the dragons a bit off when he brought them in. He had it cleared, but he had put the dragons a bit off, and they didn't get down. They didn't quite get the job done. He does have the dragons all coming here. He almost misplaced the rage. You want to make sure that rage always covers the town hall, especially when there's a sweeper involved. But just barely right on the edge. Luckily, the dragons were right on the edge of the that. Ran out of time, in fact. But he still, if he put the bowler bounce here at the very beginning of the raid, that would have been a 52% attack. So mistakes happen. I made mistakes with my rage. Grizz had it. Blah blah blah. I mean, not blah blah blah, but mistakes happen, guys. But so LDP, we actually considered, should we run something different? But I was like, no, the dragons will. He was concerned the dragons can't go to the town hall because on mine it didn't. But I was like, no, we can get the job done. There's the 8 o'clock loon. Here's the bowler bounce. Just using 1 bowler, it's going to clear out all that section down there to get the job done. Builder's huts, going to get down those elixir collectors, all the good stuff. That's the extra percentage you need. Here comes the queen up top. Now, here's one tweak that we did. We actually wall broke in right at the archer tower here, and this enabled. This was spotted by, I forget, one of our clanmates saw this. I did not even see that, but one of our clanmates saw that. Wall broke in and decided that would enable the queen to get this expo, because before this expo was up and the dragons had to deal with it, and the expo actually you know, did some decent damage to it, so it helped with funneling, took some DPS off the dragons. So very nicely done from LDPs to spot that. He did have to pop the queen ability to kill down the enemy queen, so good value on that wall break in. Again, that's what you only get to see that, guys, if you watch replays. I mean, that involves replays, but I was very confident in this plan. I knew it was going to work. We just had a couple, you know, Town Hall 11 is brutal. Hit-ups are brutal. You can't make many mistakes. I made a mistake. Grizz made a mistake. One of our other blasts, I think he had, you know, just small mistakes. They weren't huge. Just little mistakes. And it cost us. So, again, it can be very difficult. It can be very, very difficult in this attacking here. So, he's going to put the king down. King down first, creating funnel. There comes the wall breakers. Queen's doing great work. Here comes the bowlers. He already has the bowler bounce clear. You actually could have gotten, if you wanted to, you could have gotten more bowlers over here at 3 o'clock. Could have gotten a couple more percentage, but he didn't need it. He didn't need that, so he was like, you know what? I'm going to put the bowlers here, help out the king, help out the queen, get the job done. Here comes the hound CC. Doesn't matter, the queen will die. And look, he's got an archer to lure away the hound. You always want to do that if you can. You don't want the dragons going toward it. So you put that archer down at 6 or 3, get it away, and then here comes the dragons riding in with their breath of drogons. They're drogon. And this time, going to make sure that rage is covering the town hall. Look at that. The rage does cover the town hall. It has to be, because the sweeper can cause a lot of damage if it doesn't. But look at the very powerfulness. Now, people might be a little worried, well, won't the dragons not go to the town hall with the sweeper there? Well, in the attacks that actually worked, the dragons did take the town hall. There were just a couple mistakes on all ends, but LGP showing us how it's done with a beautiful 62%. Thank you, my friend LDP, for showing us. And there's a process using Queen Walk Dragons. Now, you want to see something lucky here? I guarantee you, this is pretty lucky. This guy, Helion, Hex himself, I believe, pretty much swagging a queen. Swagging a queen indeed. I don't even know how he got this. I'm actually very shocked. This came down to the wire. Just imagine if the queen stayed, if he popped the queen ability, it would have been total domination. But this, look at this. Queen, I don't think he realized how fast the queen would go down. And he missed the ability. He literally swagged a queen spell and was able to get it done. Now, this is impressive. At this moment, when I watched this replay, I was like, oh, this is over. There's no way. There is no way he's getting this. And did he miss? No, he did not miss the king ability. He got the king ability, but here comes a mass dragon attack. Now, mass dragons can work. Would I suggest this on this base? I don't know. I mean, it's very dangerous. The thing with mass dragons, he was hoping the queen would funnel. The king funneled at 3. There was no funnel at 6 o'clock, so it actually could have been a huge disaster for the dragons. Thankfully, he had the wits to put the baby dragon over there and another dragon to help with that funnel, and he just had just barely the dragons to get to the town hall. Now, I must admit, this was very a fortunate attack. I mean, you can't get closer in this. I've seen close attacks, and this is very close. If he didn't have the freeze spell here, it would have been all she wrote. Because this dragon at the end would have died, but right coming down to the wire, barely getting the town hall down before it dies. So, if he didn't have that freeze, and if he didn't have that only one dragon going to the town hall, it would have been a fail. So, yeah, we'll take the luck. As I said, in all matches, there's always luck on both sides. You can't complain about it. But that came down to the wire. And see, again, that's one of the dangers. Again, you got to be wary of the mass dragons. That's what happens with the mass dragon attack. You don't know how many dragons will end up on the town hall. And if you don't judge it right, or if you make a few mistakes, or not a few mistakes, yeah, it's going to go bad for you. So, anyways, here is the final dragon hit against Mariana Trench, and we came out for the victory in CW Invite. Now, by the way, if you want more hit-up videos, check out my playlist, guys. I got a lot of playlists that you can use to get the job done. From hit-ups to 10v10s and 9v9s, give that a go in my playlist section. But dragons are very powerful. Now, you can use dragons even if you don't clear the air defenses. Now, this base, you're going to have to either use some serious wits about you to get this down as far as the air defense goes. But you notice he didn't bring lightning spells. Lightning spells, I don't know. At this moment in the game, I'm not the biggest fan as far as a hit-up using them. It takes 2 spell spaces, and by the time you maybe get to these air defenses especially, maybe if they are tucked in, if there was an air defense tucked in by like the clan castle, you would need a lightning. But because they're more on the outside perimeter, not necessarily so. Look at this brilliant funnel at 3. Took down the air defense, and the reason why he wall broke in at 3 o'clock, he was hoping the bowlers would go inside the base to get the air defense. Their bounce did get the air defense down, and the final air defense covering the town hall is going to be tanked by a hound. He's going to rage up. He's got plenty of spells, and that is why I like on this, if you wasted 2, you didn't need to waste those spells for the 2 lightning on a base like this, because on the outside. Look at all the dragons pathing in very nicely, and he's got that final rage for the town hall, and he's got a couple dragons on it, and there it goes down very fast. And Sir Samus showing us how it's done with a lot of troops left up, in fact. A lot of troops up left. He's got dragons up at 12, dragons up going towards 9, getting the job done, and it's looking very nice. Very nice attack, very nice strategy. So if you see these bases, try dragons. Try dragons. Come back for more. I have a lot of dragon attacks. I've got a lot of bowler attacks. It all depends on the base. Depends on what you're comfortable with, and he is showing us how it's done. Look at that. Thank you. Thank you. Saramus! Guys, if you enjoyed today's video, maybe learned something, or just enjoy or learn that dragons can work on multiple things, and what can happen, and stick with a plan if it looks well. A lot of people ask me, how do you know when to change up plans? Well, on number 4, we had a dragon attack using golems. It didn't go so well, so I changed it, and then we went from there. But thanks again for watching. Smack that like button, give it a go, give it a share. See you next time.